Hey gang, Uncle Todd and Sunny here with our penultimate episode of Stranger Things for the entire series. And this episode is more setup. The action's going to be in the final episode. So we start with Max waking up, but unfortunately, because she's been in a coma for so long, her arms and legs are hard to move, and her voice is really scratchy because it's all been unused. Holly also wakes up, but she's not in the upside down. She's wherever Vecna put her, but she manages to pull out the tentacle, rip herself free, and expel whatever it is he was pumping into her. Of course, Vecna, knowing she's not attached anymore, shows up and he chases her. And she finds, while running through this desert like place, a crack with, the yellow, the orange reddish thing that she recognizes as a barrier to somewhere else, and she manages to pry open a bit and dives down through where she's now in the upside down. Unfortunately, she is free falling. Let's see. Now, in the upside down, Jonathan and Nancy are trapped in that one room from last week, but luckily, with the aid of a fire extinguisher, Steve and Dustin manage to smash an opening in one of the walls, and everybody's free. Uh, and as Dustin explains to them why they couldn't destroy the wall and everything, they hear Holly scream, and they all rush outside. Meanwhile, Clark, using balloons and triangulation with Erica and Murray, manages to get a fix on Dustin. And the military arrives at the hospital, but before they can start their search, everybody makes it outside except for Mrs. Wheeler. She's in really bad shape and she gets sent back to her room, but not before she gets a very truncated explanation of the upside down. And of course, they swipe a wheelchair for Max. Everybody gets back down to the lab, the abandoned lab, which is where they triangulated Dustin's space place. And then Mr. Clark, of course, has to get some explanation for the upside down. They do manage to make radio contact, but it's kind of spotty, and all they hear is Dustin saying something about Holly. Okay, so they then head to a breach point, one of the plates, and L deactivates, or I should say destroys, the monitors there and opens up one of the plates, and they all go in, where they finally reconnect with Dustin, Jonathan, Nancy, and Steve. Holly's not with them. Turns out Vecna was able to mentally grab hold of her and pull her back up to his realm. Okay, so they all head back to the radio station. Now, on the army base, Kay has been learning all about these strange creatures that decimated, or I shouldn't say decimated, destroyed most of the soldiers there. And she still believes this is all, or at least that's what she tells the lieutenant, that this is all because of Elle. He's not quite so sure, but after she throws him up against a wall and almost chokes him out, you know, if you got Linda Hamilton and you gotta let her show off them muscles she developed during T2, you know. Anyways, he learns of the breach and he gets his men together to go down in, thinking L is returned to the Upside Down. At the station, uh, Dustin explains the whole concept of what he believes using the notes he brought back from uh, father. Anyways, um, basically, there's another world which they named the Abyss, and the Upside Down is the connection between that world and our world. And when they thought they had destroyed Vecna, they hadn't. He had just returned to the Abyss to regather his strength. And then Max and everyone, they going together, they realize what Vecna wants the kids for. To amplify his own power, the same way he did with Will. He's going to bring the Abyss down and meld it with our world, creating basically Armageddon and taking over. Now they have to figure out a way to get back into the Upside Down and to the Abyss. And, well, Hopper's idea is, of course, to go in the Upside Down, steal an Army helicopter from the base they have in there, and fly it up. Might be too big. And then Steve finally comes up with an idea. Someone said magic seed, and that got him to thinking. Jack and the Beanstalk. And he pulls them all together using a slinky and a pipe. He explains they have a large tower at the station, so there must be an equally large tower in the Upside Down. And using the slinky to demonstrate the bridge, basically, between the two worlds, he says they're going to have to let Vecna pull the Abyss down until they can reach it from the broadcast tower. At which point they can save Holly, destroy Vecna, and, as Dustin suggests, setting a bomb to blow the whole thing up. And this way, in the Upside Down, since it's a mirror, that lab should also have a tub. And since it's closer, she should be able to use the tub to enter the mind space and run into Vecna. Now, Callie, she plans to go along, and she is mind connecting with Elle, something she hasn't done before, mind connecting things so that she can learn to do it, so she can be of help. And as there, she explains, even if you destroy Vecna and the Upside Down, K will come for L to restart the program. And even if they get rid of K, someone else will take it over. There is only one way to stop all this. When the bridge is destroyed, the two of them have to be there to go down with it. Holly does try to escape from the house, but all the other kids are pretty brainwashed, and there's a huge fight, and her necklace with her talisman gets destroyed, and she gets knocked down the stairs. And she tries to appeal to Derek for help, but he's too afraid because of what Vecna showed him would happen to his parents if he didn't go along. Then we get a long stretch where they're gearing up their weapons. Steve and Dustin, they talk things out and reestablish their tight friendship. And then we get to the part that pissed off so many people online. Will pulls everyone together and through a long-winded and very emotional outpouring from himself, he comes out to everybody. And he was afraid to because, remember, this is set in the 80s, and there was the if you were around then, you will remember how much animosity there was towards the LGBTQ community at that time. You think it's bad now? Uh, Nothing compared to the 80s, especially because of AIDS. They were blamed for it, even though they had probably the highest casualty rate from it. But that's neither here nor there. Thankfully, not only is his mom and brother supportive of him, all his friends are too. And it was a very emotional scene, and I felt it, and it was very true to the moment of the time, I think, because it was very scary to do that, to explain how you are that different in a heteronormative society. But then we get to the exciting part where taking a truck, having got the codes for the gates at the base, Murray takes a truck with everybody and they zip through the first gate, get into a firefight. Nancy's a dead shot too with the soldiers, and they ram Kay's car when she tries to stop them, and manage to drive their truck into the Upside Down. At which point, Robin, very scared, says, "I thought this was supposed to be the easy part." And they're like, "This was." And then we end with the ceremony the children are participating in. And Holly is there, and she's pretty banged up. And the fight's kind of taken out of her. And when they all join hands, Henry takes control of them. And he's ready to start bringing the abyss down. So, that's where we end. Next episode, the final one, is I'm sure going to be an all-action one. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. This was a bit of a boring episode. A lot of dialogue, but the emotional impact from Will's coming out, I think, more than made up for any lack of action. Please hit like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.